Ever stared at a GCSE maths question and just had no idea where to even begin? Yeah, we've all been there. In this explainer, we're not just going to solve a problem, we're going to crack the examiner's code and show you the exact blueprint to guarantee you get every single mark.
Because, in these exams, the final answer, that's only part of the story. The real points are in the how. It's all about the steps you show. So let's break down exactly what that looks like.
All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling question 10 from a Pearson Edexcel higher tier non-calculator paper, a real classic.
So here it is, our problem. The circumference of a circle is 10 meters. Work out the area of the circle. Give your answer in terms of pi. Now right away, a few things should be jumping out at you. We're going from circumference to area, it's a non-calculator paper, and that last little instruction, in terms of pi, man, that is a huge clue.
Okay, let's break down the mission. We've got the circumference, our target is the area. That in terms of pi instruction is actually great news. It means we can skip a lot of messy arithmetic. And knowing it's worth 3 marks, that tells us it's probably a multi-step job. And of course, no calculator means our algebra needs to be on point.
So where does that first mark actually come from? Well, it's what examiners call a P1 mark, and that stands for a process mark. You literally get it just for starting the problem the right way.
And get this is a direct quote from the official mark scheme. It's the exact instruction given to the person marking your paper. They are physically looking for one of these 2 things, so let's show them we know exactly what we're doing. The first thing to do is always to pick the right tool for the job. And to connect circumference and radius, we need this formula. Writing it down is such a good habit. It focuses your brain and it shows the examiner exactly where your head's at. Now, we just take that key piece of information from the question, the circumference is 10, and we plug it straight into our formula. See? Just like that. The problem starts turning into a simple equation we can solve.
With a little bit of straightforward rearranging, we get r all by itself, and we find our radius. And boom, just by getting to this point, r equals 5 over pi. You've locked in that first P1 mark. Excellent.
Okay, 1 mark is in the bag. Let's see what we need to do for the second one. This is where it gets pretty interesting.
Right, this is an absolutely crucial piece of exam strategy. The second process mark here is what's called a dependent mark. What does that mean? It means you can only earn it if you've made a proper attempt at the first step. Think of it like a chain reaction. Get the first part right, and you unlock the door to the next mark.
So let's peek inside the examiner's guide one more time, and we can see exactly what they're after. The next point is awarded for taking the radius we just found and using it correctly in the area formula.
So now we pivot to the second half of the question, finding the area. We bring out our next tool from the toolbox, the formula for the area of a circle.
And here it is, the key step. We take our value for the radius, that little key we just found, and we use it in the area formula. This one move, substituting correctly, proves to the examiner you can link the 2 parts of the problem together. And that right there earns you the second mark.
So, we have our 2 process marks. Now it's time for the final prize, the A1 or accuracy mark. This one is for getting the correct final answer. Plain and simple.
First things first, we've got to deal with the term in the brackets. Remember, you have to square everything inside, both the 5 on top and the pi on the bottom. That's a classic trap, and it's a super common place for people to slip up.
And now for the really satisfying part, simplifying. We've got a pi on the outside and a pi squared on the bottom. So the outside pi cancels out one of the pi's down below, which cleans up the whole expression beautifully. And that leaves us with our final, really tidy answer, 25 over pi. Oh, and don't forget the units, meters squared. It's always a good idea to put a nice clear box around your final answer. And just like that, our A1 mark is totally secure.
Now here is another great little insider tip for you. You'll often see the letters OE on a mark scheme. That just means or equivalent. For this question, it means that if you left your answer as pi times 5 over pi squared, you'd still get the final accuracy mark. The examiner knows it's the same thing mathematically. So if you're ever running out of time, don't panic about simplifying perfectly.
So let's just quickly pull all that together. What was our 3-step blueprint to guarantee full marks on a question just like this? So there it is, your 3-mark blueprint. Step 1, find your intermediate value. In this case, the radius. That gets you P1. Step 2, substitute that value into the second formula. That gets you your dependent P1. And step 3, simplify all the way to the end. That gets you the A1. This find, substitute, simplify pattern is like a secret weapon for tons of GCSE questions.
So you see, you haven't just learned how to solve one math problem. You've learned how to think like an examiner. You've literally cracked the code. So take this blueprint, apply it to the next question you see, and go get those marks.